die International Ice Hockey Federation. Das Schiedsrichtergespann wurde vom Internationalen Eishockey-Weltverband lizenziert und für dieses Spiel bestimmt. Die Hauptschiedsrichter dieses Spiels sind the referees of the game are Stefan Conselius und Eduard Smolitz. Der Landsmann Richter Johnson Ritter und Sakari Subinen. And now, please welcome Team Denmark. Followed by Team Italia. Starting for this starting lineup and both teams starting with Team Italy. United States Italians in goal, big top number 1, Matthias Andreas Werner. On defense in der Verteidigung, Number 27, die 27, Thomas Laki. Number 55, die 55, Luca Zanata. Im Sturm, Forwards, Number 8, die 8, Marco Dixon. Number 10, der 10, Julius Mandela. Number 19, der 19, Rafael Andreas. And here's the starting six of Team Denmark. Starting six Denmark. In goal, total number 32, die 32 Sebastian Dahm. On defense, in der Verteidigung, Number 22, die 22 Markus Lauritsen. Number 28, die 28 Emil Christensen. Forwards, im Sturm, Number 9, mit der 9, Felix Storm. Number 33, die 33 Julian Jakobsen. And Number 43, die 43 Niklas Hart.
Welcome to Cologne, Germany, Denmark, and Italy as they get set for their final game of this 2017 World Hockey Championship. And Denmark to the attack early, the short turnaround for Denmark after the late game last night. A loss to Sweden by a score of 4-2. Jakobsen plays this into the Italian zone. Thomas Larkin plays it right back out, and we'll get our first change.
Denmark played well against Sweden. They fell behind 3-0, but a good comeback led by the play. Nikolai Ehlers pulled them within 1 goal, but power play goal by Sweden late put it away.
Peter Regan for Nicholas Jensen. He'll deflect it in. And Italy back to regroup. Armin Helfer for Armin Hofer. Hofer chips this up the boards, and it will get deflected out to center ice no further from Morini. And now Costner on it. Diego and Simon Costner out there with Morini. And Peter Regan will circle back. Regan had the overtime winner a couple of games ago for Denmark against Germany. Oliver Lauritsen back in behind his own net. Big night for Nikolai Ehlers of the Winnipeg Jets last night in that losing cause. A couple of big assists as Denmark got to within 1 in the third, but that's as close as they could get.
Well, not only that, you mentioned the quick turnaround. Ehlers played 21 minutes and 47 seconds. Led the forwards in ice time in that game.
Morten Poulsen in after it. Morton Green in there as well. This is a special day for Morton Green as the longtime captain of the Denmark team. This will be his final World Championship game. 19 World Championships between Division I and this World Championship. Bow carries in.
It really is remarkable how long he's done. We have the Denmark crew next to us and whole feature on him and thanking him from the country, what he's been able to do for the development of their country's hockey.
Still the career leader in points in World Championship play and will be probably for a while. 16 goals and 52 points. Thomas Larkin winds his way to center, sends it through, and play is whistled down at the line.
Long for Italy, just trying to get a win. A look at Marchetti, he had the goal for them the last time they played, and there's Nicholas Hart of Denmark. 2 goals in this tournament. We'll try and find some offense here. Something that has plagued both these teams, especially Italy. They have been outscored 24-5 through 6 games.
Today's game, doesn't matter what you're playing, how well you are defensively, how good your goaltending is, you still have to be able to score goals. Frederick Storm carries in offside at the Italy blue line.
We look at Frederick Storm, and for Italy, you mentioned it, their coach Stefan Mer talking about being patient, playing tight, try and keep this game as close as long as possible. And Italy's been able to do that in a lot of the games. Even against Russia, it was 2-1 at one point before it got away from them, and they ended up losing 10-1.
So what if game you can't play when you're dealing with sport, but that opening game they had Slovakia down until late in the third, gave up the tying goal and then lost it in extra time. Had they been able to hang on, may have been a little bit of a confidence booster for them. Ander Gasson plays this back into his own end for Italy. Armin Hofer plays it off the board. Scandella, who did not play last game, back in the lineup again tonight. Couldn't get a stick on that.
Julian Jakobsen still looking for his first goal, and there's Nikolai Ehlers. 4 assists in the tournament, had 2 against Sweden, but really his first game, as he struggled early on in this tournament, was just adjusting to the line mates, but made it happen, and a bit of a comeback there, down 3, and they pulled it within 2 off 2 great plays by Nikolai Ehlers.
And a tough penalty for Julian Jakobsen to take, and a power play goal for Sweden. Oliver Lauritsen jams this up the boards, comes loose, and played ahead for Peter Regan. Regan carries in. Matthias Lawson in from the line, and got a whack at it and chipped it wide. Marini goes after it for Italy. In on the forecheck is Nikolai Ehlers. And Marini trying to pull away. Gets to the red line and jams it in. And did he not get to the red line?
I don't. This is going to be an icing call. It's going to come back. Nice plays. Regan's going to drive it wide. He just centering, feed to the front. Lassen's going to join the rush. And just shoots it wide. A little bit of pressure from Insam of Italy on the back check.
Morton Green out for the face-off against Simon Costner. Thomas Larkin, Green in pursuit. Larkin, nice outlet pass to the front of his own net. And it's on for Diego Costner. Eludes a check. As Emil Christensen thought he had him lined up. Played at the line, and Thomas Larkin to the front of the net, and a chance down low for Simon Costner, but he couldn't handle that.
Almost lost his footing right before he could get to that loose puck.
Right back in for Italy. Diego Costner plays it in deep. Back forward is Ogard. He got bumped. Taken and cleared out at center ice by Marcus Lauritsen. But right back in for Italy. Marini drops it off at the line. Slap shot and a blocker save made by Sebastian Dom.
A little bit of pressure from Italy as the blast from Gander at the point. Look at the captain for Italy is Anton Bernard. here if Italy can find a way to get it to the back of the net. It has been tough to get goals, but it has been a learning experience for this team as they move to the top group.
Coming off the 4-1 loss to Germany. Before that, it was an 8-1 loss to Sweden. They were shut out by the United States.
Little conversation going on between the officials. Just whatever needed to be settled is.
Jakobsen, who has taken a lot of face-offs for Denmark, wins this one. Drops it off for Jesper Jensen. And he will need some rest when Denmark gets home. He has played huge minutes, 159 minutes and 10 seconds in the games, averaging 26 and a half.
Just 25:09 yesterday, so maybe trying to save him so the legs are a little more fresh here today against Italy. There's a lot of Denmark fans in the crowd.
That was after 29 minutes and 19 seconds against Germany in a game that went 1 minute and 40 seconds into overtime. Jesper Jensen. For Jakobsen, knocked off his stick. Here comes Marcus Gander. Gander got taken into the corner boards. Anton Bernard after it. Bernard trying to center it. In from the line is Alexander Egger. Plays it back for Gander. Gander sends it back for Tommaso Traversa. He got tied up by Jesper Jensen. Puck back at the line off a skate. And it makes its way to the near side where Nicholas Hart will play it back in behind his own net. And on it is Philip Rugesser. Rugesser will leave it. He'll head to the bench on the line change. Second World Championship for Rugesser. Here comes Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers sent it into the slot. Shot off the crossbar. And the referee on the goal line says no. It did not go in.
Well, shot by Madsen. It might have hit Peter Regan in front and then hit the bar.
Here comes Ehlers. He got stopped at center ice. Ehlers follows up on the play. Ehlers for Regan and a slap shot. And the save made by Bernard. From the line, Oliver Lauritsen sends it down low. So Italy now in some trouble in its own end. Back at the blue line, slap shot by Matthias Lassen, and that got turned aside. Oliver Lauritsen back for Matthias Lassen, and back for Lauritsen. He'll float it in from the line, and that's off a stick and wide. Regan is after it. He overskated it, takes a bump from Marchetti, and then Marchetti went down. Regan back to the line. Lassen the shot. Bernard another save. Ehlers trying to pull it out of the pile. Gets some help there from Big Morten Madsen. This will get cleared down the ice. They wave off icing. So now Lombacher's going to have to hustle over to the Italian bench. He was trying to get as much rest as he could because he thought it was going to be an icing call, and now we have too many men on the ice.
Going to go to Denmark.
Team Denmark, 2 minutes, 2 minutes on ice.
The official program of the 2017 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship includes all relevant tournament information, and there's a bonus if you free download of the official championship song Playground by Cascada. It is available at various sales points within the arena and in the fan village for only €2. Das offizielle Programmheft dieser Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft enthält alle wichtigen Turnierinformationen. Den Download des offiziellen WM-Songs Playground von Cascada gibt es als Bonus gratis dazu. Das Programm ist für jede Arena und im Fanlauf erhältlich für gerade einmal €2.
power play. Too many men on the ice against Denmark, so Italy sends its power play out there. Scandella holds this in at the line, sends it down. Sebastian Dom makes the save on the blast from Insam.
Insam has a big shot. They like to set up on that offside. The power play has struggled for Italy, just 1 for 14. 7%, that is the worst in the tournament.
Power play goal they do have coming off the stick of Giovanni Marini, one of 2 that he has in this championship. Scandella, brother of Marco Scandella, sends it cross ice, and Jakobsen just got a stick on it and deflected that away. Italy back on the regroup. Send in deep, Oliver Lauritsen, former Philadelphia Flyer, will snap this around the boards and send it all the way back down the ice. Denmark's penalty kill, 72% in the tournament. Denmark looking forward to next year. For the first time ever, the country will host the World Championship. A lot of dignitaries from Denmark in yesterday for a little news conference. They talked about how excited they are, and ticket sales are now underway. Long shot, and that is blockered up and out of play.
It might be a little different looking team next year. Here's the chance that Denmark had as Madsen shot it. It went off Egger, the defenseman in front of Italy, and then off the mask of Bernard, off the bar, and then just bounced down wide of the net, so very close. Morten Madsen, who had a goal against Sweden, is 2 in the tournament.
So we have an Egger and a header and a crossbar. And this game's still scoreless with now a dozen seconds left in the power play. Marchetti plays it around for Gander. Gander puts it in behind the net for Bernard. Anton Bernard back for Gander. Out of the penalty box is Mads Christensen, who was in serving the minor for too many men on the ice. And Denmark back to full strength. Jakobsen sends it back for Christensen and back for Jakobsen. He'll leave it behind his own net for Oliver Lauritsen, who scored last night, or Marcus Lauritsen, who had a goal last night on a nice setup from Nikolai Ehlers. And the setup from Ehlers brought rave reviews from Marcus Lauritsen's brother Oliver. He matched and outmatched Sweden's speed, but that is what he does best. Hangs onto the puck and makes plays. Jesper Jensen back into his own end. Starting today's action, USA leading this pool with 15 points, but USA has played one more game than Russia. In front of the net, batted out of midair. Sharp angle chance there by Peter Regan as he tried to bat that in.
Nice rush up the ice by Jensen as he got some speed. The defenseman trying to get this to the front of the net and goes up in the air off the goaltender Bernard's stick, and Peter Regan, a little bunt play. And not far off that far post as he put it wide. There's Andreas Bernard, brother of the captain Anton Bernard.
At the line, wrist shot deflected. Good save made by Bernard. And Italy will control. Putting on the brakes is Simon Costner. Came dangerously in front of his own net. It ends up on the stick of Diego Costner. Back for Simon Costner, over for Marini. He floats it in wide. And Matthias Lassen back for it for Denmark. Rink wide for Morten Poulsen into the back half here of period number 1. Andreas Bernard coming into the game with a 2.98 goals against average, 904 save percentage. At center, long slap shot in. And Bernard 0-4. Other than the game against Sweden, I guess the game against Russia, when they got blown out 10-1 and 8-1, They have kept the games relatively close. As puck ends up out of play.
Well, they know they can't match the speed and skill of a lot of teams, so Italy just tries to really clog up the neutral zone, collapse defensively, block shots. A simple game, but the problem has been at some point they need to find goals, and they haven't. Even when some of those games that turned into blows were close at one point.
Denmark fans follow their team very well, but very much looking forward to next year. Copenhagen and Herning, where the two pools will be located. Here comes Nikolai Ehlers and a save made. Thomas Larkin trying to play it up the boards, could not. On it is Gander, and Marcus Gander will lift this out at center. Kicked away by Marcus Lauritsen. After it, Emil Christensen, and he'll chip this into the Denmark bench.
Looking Nikolai Ehlers getting a bit of a double shift here as he has a rush up the ice, just moves it wide, quick little cut to the middle. And the low shot is Bernard able to steer it to the corner with the pad save.
Ehlers played junior hockey in Switzerland and then went on to Canada. Terrific numbers in the Quebec Junior League. Drafted by the Winnipeg Jets, but has been part of the national program in Denmark since he was 16. Lombacher will slide this in. Jesper Jensen for Nicholas Hart. Hart tried to get it back to Jesper Jensen. He has to chase it down in his own zone. Frederick Storm chips it off the boards. And Egger is back for it. Egger turned it over at center ice. Here comes Jakobsen. Jakobsen gets hooked on the play. Play goes on as Goy got the stick in on him. Kept it at the line by Morten Madsen. And Italy will control with Armin Hofer. Leaves it, and Italy will start the attack out to center ice for Scandella. Scandella, the wrist shot, and that just missed, and there was some room left side. Now jammed ahead. Here comes Nikolai Ehlers, and it got away from him. As Armin Helfer got back to just get enough of Nikolai Ehlers to keep this game scoreless.
That speed of Ehlers just allows him to break behind the defense.
Helfer backside looking for Anton Bernard. Bernard floats this cross ice looking for Larkin. It is kept in at the line, and now Larkin's wrist shot goes wide. And play whistled down.
It offside.
Dear Eishockey-fans, let's have a look at the current game in Paris. It's the game in Canada versus Norway. And the current score in the first period, no goals so far. So Canada 0, Norway 0. Wir schauen auf den Videowürfel und sehen die Live-Bilder aus Kanada von der Parallelpartie in der Gruppe B. Dort spielt gerade Kanada gegen Norwegen. Aktueller Zwischenstand im ersten Drittel 0:0.
Russia, Latvia, the second game here in Cologne today. Russia 1 point back at Team USA. And Russia has a game in hand as Russia will finish with back-to-back games. Germany's had a couple of days off, and Latvia will play back-to-back games. Latvia, our second game today, and then Latvia plays again tomorrow. And that'll be the big game against Germany. Winner of that game will advance to the quarterfinals. So Germany getting a bit of a break leading into that scenario. Marcus Lauritsen looking for Mads Christensen. And back forward is Lucas Zanata. Lucas Zanata and his brother Michael Zanata spent a year in Notre Dame in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. Bernard will dump this in. Nicholas Jensen to the backboards. Patrick Russell there as well. Anton Bernard trying to work it free. It pops to the near corner. Gander goes in after it for Italy, but it's cleared by Ogard. Plays this ahead for Patrick Russell. Back for Ogard. And intercepted and brought back out by Gander. For Tommaso Traversa. He's trying to work it free off the checking of Ogard. And it ends up in behind the net where it's taken by Jesper Jensen. On for Russell, on for Ogard. As Ehlers with him. Ogard trying to work it to the forehand. Got knocked off his stick. Back at the line, Matthias Lassen, the slap shot. And into the catching glove of Andreas Bernard.
Lassen just with a long point shot. Had a chance earlier in this period as he jumped into the rush. Lassen playing in his first World Championship as part of the World Junior team in 2015 and 16.
New power rankings out, by the way, and it has the United States in the #1 slot, followed by Russia. So tomorrow when the USA and Russia meet, there will be plenty on the line. The most important thing being first place. And then the game between Latvia and Germany that we just talked about. Lots on the line there as well.
Good way to end off the round robin here in the tournament is those games with a lot of meaning.
Andergassen tied up by Morten Madsen. Puck is loose for Scandella. In for Insam. Insam had it knocked off his stick and back for Morten Madsen. Sends it out to center. Here comes Nikolai Ehlers again. Ehlers puts on the brakes. Peter Regan goes after it. And Thomas Larkin first on the puck. Tries to send this ahead for Scandella. Nothing doing up the boards on the first try. Second try, it's successful, and Andergassen will send it in. Taken by Nikolai Ehlers. Off the boards and out the center. Player changes for both teams. Egger, 37-year-old veteran for this Italian team, gets to center, snaps it in. And offside is going to be called at the line.
Marcus Larson, then as you mentioned, he had the goal yesterday. Him and his brother Oliver on Denmark. Lots of players next year when they host and play in the NHL, if available, will be there. Del Bodker, Frans Nielsen, Fredrik Anderson, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Lars Eller. Yeah. Different looking team if they could get a lot of those guys.
Talk about the veterans from Denmark. There was a youngster from Denmark that had a special night last night. Alexander True had the game-winning goal in overtime as the Seattle Thunderbirds defeated the Regina Pats in Game 6 of the Western Hockey League Championship. The goal came at 12:36. Taken to the net, and that's deflected off a stick and wide. Simon Costner looking for Marini. It was away from him, and Mads Christensen plays it back into his own end. Nicholas Jensen ahead for Bow. Bow takes it wide against Hofer. Helfer on the loose puck. Big arm, and Helfer will play it back for Tommaso Traversa. Now for Gander. And back for Traversa. Tried to bust his way through. Lost control of it, and it's on for Ogard. Ogard right wing for Russell. Russell the wrist shot, blocker save made by Bernard. Matthias Bow is on it. Big Bow got taken down. That's a long way to fall when you're 6'7". At the line, Lassen goes cross ice, and Oliver Lordson ripped it. Russell tied up there with Helfer. Traversa knocks the puck to the line, and he got knocked down. And Oliver Lordson will blast another one that got blocked. Chopped out by Marcus Gander. And Oliver Lordson back into his own end. Frederick Storm trying to work his way around. Tommaso Goy could not. Goy in across the line, trying to chip that in from a sharp angle. And it's taken in behind the net by Marcus Lordson. The long lead pass for Frederick Storm. Storm is in. Egger gets back there first, got knocked off stride. Pile up in behind the net.
1 minute left in the first period.
Comes back to the line, a shot. And that partially got blocked by Michel Marchetti. And then got deflected wide. Lombacher will send it in into the final minute of period 1. Marcus Lordson, Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers cuts laterally, dances his way in, and he gets taken down at the blue line. And Denmark, who had all sorts of trouble on the power play last night, will get its first power play of the game.
Well, Andergassen's going to take down Ehlers, and that's what Nikolai Ehlers does. The ability to generate speed, and if he can't create a chance, he's going to draw a penalty. As he cuts across the blue line, Andergassen hauls him down, and Denmark gets their first power play late. 29 seconds remaining in this first period of play. Power play for Denmark's what hurt them against Sweden. They had some chances, 0 for 5 in that game. Their power play is 8.7% in this tournament, but Italy's penalty kill killed 9 of 18. 50%.
They had a 5-on-3 for over a minute in that game. And this skips away from Jesper Jensen.
2,5 Minuten weghaben ist die Zeit 19 Minuten 31.
Peter Regan to center ice, to the line. Regan dishes it off for Mads Christensen. Christensen trying to send it back to the blue line for Nikolai Ehlers. Intercepted in the first period, will come to an end. No score, Denmark and Italy.
No goals after the first period between Team Denmark and Team Italy. Zwischenstand nach dem ersten Drittel noch 0:0 zwischen Dänemark und Italien. Wir schauen auf die Schüsse im ersten Drittel oder den Dänemark mit 6 Schüssen, Italien mit 4 Schüssen. Shots on goal in the first period to Denmark 10, Team Italy 4.
It's our fighting spirit. Because it's our game.
Forza ragazzi! Dalla colonia. Dai, dai! Vuoi venire con questo video? No! Questo è il titolo di Buffon pure. Ciao Buffon!
The only Czech royal brewery was founded in 1581 in a small village called Krušovice. The best barley and the noblest hops in the world are cultivated here. These ingredients are combined with the purest water, resulting in a noble and inimitable taste. In the only brewery owned by Czech King Rudolf II, Krušovice, the only Czech royal beer. Introducing the 2017 IIHF Cup. Player statistics. Team statistics. Line updates. And introducing Hockey Cards. Your face, your team, your car. Showing the hockey events across the world. For any smart device, in your own language, the 2017 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play. Skoda. Civica.
Jetzt gibt's Angebote bei HRS sichern. Können Sie sich die Audience mit 50% Rabatt in Berlin, Hamburg, Paris oder einer anderen aufregenden Metropole. Jetzt auf hrs.de.
It's the first intermission, so it's time for the top 3 saves of yesterday's games, and you can watch them on the screen. Wie immer in der ersten Pause schauen wir auf die Top 3 Paraden des vorherigen Tages, und das wollen wir jetzt schauen. Auf dem Videowürfel gibt es jetzt die Top 3 Saves von gestern. Viel Spaß.
.32 left in the power play for Denmark as the second period gets going. Scoreless tie. Nicholas Hart has a power play goal for Denmark in this championship.
Oh, maybe a little easier night for Jesper Jensen. Just 6:33 as Oliver Lordson in Denmark that led the way, playing 8 minutes and 17 seconds. But 10-4 the shots in favor of Denmark, and we'll see, as you mentioned, Denmark on the power play if they can get something going offensively.
Sebastian Dahm will leave it. Spitz deflected up through center ice. Thomas Larkin back for it, getting chased there by Frederick Storm. Zanata jams it up the boards. Nicholas Hart in from the line is Marcus Lauritsen. And the loose puck onto the stick of the big defenseman Thomas Larkin. And he'll send Denmark back. Christensen through the middle. Talked about this late in the first period. The power play for Denmark last night against Sweden. All sorts of trouble.
Well, they just didn't move the puck quick enough. Look at Morten Madsen, and that's something they need to do. And then they didn't take the shots that could open up the pass lanes, and they were very stagnant. Sweden's penalty kill did an excellent job. They had over a minute of 5-on-3 and could not get a shot through on the Sweden net.
Second game up here is Russia and Latvia, and Russia will have some new faces in the lineup. As Evgeny Kuznetsov and Dmitry Orlov skated with the team yesterday. Valery Nichushkin made his debut in their last game. And on the sad side of things, the veteran Sergei Mozyakin, after that slew foot by Patrick Hager of Germany, he has gone home and is done for the tournament. Jesper Jensen for Peter Regan. Regan for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers walks it to the net. The shot goes off a stick and maybe off the netbinder and just wide with big Morten Madsen in front.
Both teams are playing at full strength.
Now the power play is over, cleared down the ice, and Sebastian Dahm is going to do the safe thing and hang on to it with Rafael Andergassen racing in there.
Power play struggles continue. Ehlers gets the quick shot. Bernard gets enough of that puck. You mentioned Madsen, a good screen in front. That just catches enough of the blocker's side to roll to the outside of that post, and some frustration from Peter Regan on the Denmark bench. And probably in part to that power play that just not been working at all in this tournament.
It's been a frustrating tournament for a number of the Denmark players. Nikolai Ehlers hasn't scored yet, but was great last night. Peter Regan just one goal. They've had trouble scoring. And a team that made the quarterfinals last year. So despite the fact they couldn't be relegated, they were looking up. They weren't looking down. They were hoping to come here and find their way back into the quarterfinals again. But that is not going to happen. Matthias Bau trying to take that to the net, knocked off his stick by Hofer. Bau to the corner along with Insan. Puck does come loose though. Bau comes up with it and plays this back at the line. Matthias Lassen back for Bau. Bau to the front of the net, a redirect scramble. Bernard is down and picked up by Insam and played all the way down the ice, and this will be icing against Italy.
It's Morten Poulsen who gets the deflection. Bit of a high tip and a nice save by Bernard as Bau just throws it to the net. Morton Green's in front, but it's Poulsen with the tip and a nice save as Bernard able to read that through some traffic in front. Look at Italian's coach, Stefan Mayer. Not sure exactly what he's trying to gesture towards.
Very emotional back there. His facial expressions are priceless.
He celebrates the goals as much as the players.
Yep, he feels their pain when it doesn't work well either, other than the physical pain that happens out on the ice. Hofer being watched there by Madsen, sends this up through the middle of the ice. Andergassen took a look. Time for a line change, plays it in deep. Doesn't get it all the way down the ice though, right back for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers dancing his way in, save made by Bernard. Marcus Gander couldn't get a stick on it, comes to the near corner. And picked up by Stefano Marchetti to the line, but not out. This game still scoreless. These teams met last year or 2 years ago in Minsk, back in 2014, the last time they played. And Denmark winning that one by a score of 4-1. Denmark outshot Italy 31-13, but it was 1-1 after the opening period. And then Jannik Hansen and Emil Christensen scored 2 minutes and 7 seconds apart in the second period. And that really was the difference as Denmark went on for the 4-1 win. Not sure if that long shot got in on Bernard.
A little redirect by Storm in front. Here's another chance. Ehlers dancing around the top of the ice. Quick shot. And Bernard just steers that away. Ehlers 4 shots on goal tonight. Mentioned he doesn't have a goal. He is looking for it. Really nice chance on a rush in the first period. Tried to get away. A bit of a slash there that went uncalled. Then on the power play, Bernard with another save.
Shots in that opening period were 10-4, by the way. Morton Poulsen in behind the net in a battle there with Anton Bernard. Tommaso Traversa tried to play it up the boards. It ends up back on Larkin's stick. And Marcus Gander will go after it. Back for Bernard. Bernard being watched, gets rubbed out there with a good gentle bump from Morton Green. And Green will head to the bench on the line change. Jesper Jensen from Nicholas Jensen, and Jesper Jensen will send this in. Mikkel Ågaard tried to play it to the front of the net, looking for Mats Christensen, deflected away, and right back up the ice for Simon Costner, shot to the short side, and that is grabbed and held.
Quiet day for Sebastian Daum. Just the 4 shots in that first period is George Sorensen, who played against Sweden, the young netminder for Denmark. Sorensen just 21, and he was very good as Jan Carlson goes back to the veteran 30-year-old Daum for this game against Italy.
Face-off win by Simon Costner. Shot from that far point from Armin Helfer went wide. Now it does get cleared out at center ice, and Costner back into his own end. For Marini. Looking for a little bit of room through center, turned it over, and back in across the line for Ågaard. Down for Bow, had Patrick Russell with him, but Bow tried to get it back to the line after he couldn't handle that pass cleanly. And right back for Diego Costner. Marini back at the line. A wrister, that changed directions as Marchetti let it go. Simon Costner for Alexander Egger. Egger to the front of the net. And trying to get a stick on that and doing so, but it ended up stopping the shot, not a deflection that he wanted. And that was Diego Costner. Patrick Russell stopped at the line by Egger. Quick up now by Marchetti, and that got to the line no further, and Oliver Lauritsen is injured. Shot by Nikolai Ehlers, and that whistled wide. Oliver Lauritsen stays out there, and he takes a healthy run at Lambacher. Marcus Lauritsen on it. Gently plays it around the boards. Morten Madsen on for Nikolai Ehlers, has Regan with him, and that shot got blocked. Larkin back for Scandella, dangerously to the front of his own net for Larkin, and good play defensively by Insam on that far side to make sure that got out of his own. Peter Regan back through the middle. Morten Madsen trying to get to the backhand. Nikolai Ehlers is on the puck. Slap shot from the line by Christensen, save made by Andreas Bernard. Scoreless. Face off to the left of Andreas Bernard. Jakobsen in for that face-off against Bernard, and a quick shot right off the face-off by Nicholas Hart. And that didn't miss by a whole lot. Armin Helfer just gets to the line but not out. Kept in by Brugesser, the shot, and a blocker and glove save made by Bernard.
Denmark's starting to put more pucks towards the net. There's a look at Oliver Lordson. He took a high stick. No call. You can see a little bit of the blood on his jersey as a result. I think Marchetti has stepped up. The stick comes up high and catches Lordson right in the face. Had a quick discussion with the ref, but obviously play was unseen, no call.
Slap shot from the line, pad save Bernard. That came off the stick of Jesper Jensen. Denmark back to the attack. Mads Christensen back for Jesper Jensen, and that shot never got to the net.
Jensen is trying to get it through. Some shots from the point with traffic, and Jensen's going to walk the blue line. Hit that angle, a good low shot that's a riser, and Bernard right at the last second gets that blocker. That puck goes way up and out of play.
He did have to stop that. It went off a shin pad in front and kind of changed directions. So a very good save by Bernard.
Another shot from the point, deflected out of play as Lordson lets that one go.
Denmark fans won't have to travel next year to watch this championship. Crown Prince Frederick telling IIHF.com that Denmark is very proud and content to host the 2018 World Championship. It is going to be the biggest sporting event that has been hosted in Denmark to date. So that's what it means to that country.
They've made some real good strides with the hockey program in Denmark, especially over the last year. You're seeing the guys we mentioned, Ehlers here. Oliver Bjorkstrand starting to make a name for himself in Columbus. You mentioned the big goal in the Western Hockey League.
That last night from Alexander True in overtime. So the Seattle Thunderbirds will go to the Memorial Cup. The Regina Pats, by the way, will host the Memorial Cup next year. And just to finish the story for some avid hockey fans, if the name True sounds familiar, Soren True was a New York Ranger draft pick back in 1986, played in the International Hockey League in the early 90s, and then returned to Denmark, played and coached. And Alexander True obviously is the son of Soren. Offside called at the blue line.
Italy just struggling to get anything generated here. You see Stefan Mayer, there's a bit of the intensity he brings behind the bench. Some long games for him to stand back there in this tournament.
Coached in Germany for 3 years. Couple of years in Division 1, 1 year in Division 2, and then he went back to Italy in 2015. Knew they came in here as an underdog, trying to come out of this final game of this tournament with something. Gander for Bernard. He'll send this in to the backboards. Scandella trying to play it back to the line. And back forward Egger. This gets deflected in by Marini. Jesper Jensen trying to wind it up. Gets taken to the sideboards. And Christensen will follow up, and he gets chased back by Diego Kostner. For Mads Christensen. To center and in. Morton Green heads to the front of the net. his final game in World Championship competition. The 36-year-old, despite the fact that it's in Denmark next year and he would have loved to have been played in it, his body after all those games and all the years is telling him different.
That comes to that point, unfortunately, for most players, unless you're Jaromir Jagr, but time when just had enough.
Niklas Jensen, left side, Peter Regan puts on the brakes in the corner, tied up there with Larkin. Morten Madsen goes in after it. Madsen back for Regan, sends it back to the line. Oliver Lauritsen lets the shot go steered away by Bernard. It's up on the back of the net. Referee telling them to move it. They do, and Andergassen has it for Scandella. Scandella poke check by Madsen. Madsen to the front of the net, and a tip there by Peter Regan. Terrific chance for Regan to open the scoring in this game, and he fails. Played in behind the net. Centered! Scramble, and Sebastian Dahm is down and makes the save off Andergassen.
Chances at both ends of the ice, and for Peter Regan, a great feed from Morten Madsen. Bit of a rolling puck, but he can't get much as it pushes wide. Tell by the reaction the other way. Scandella with the rush up the ice. He just a centering feed in front. And Andergassen gets the shot away, but Dahm able to challenge out on the blue paint and make the save.
Peter Regan, captain in Jokerit of the KHL. He has spent the past 2 seasons there. Did spend some time in the National Hockey League.
Ottawa, New York Islanders, and Chicago. 243 career NHL games for Peter Regan.
Slap shot by Marcus Gander, that hits a leg. And taken and cleared by Jakobsen down the ice. Icing gets waved off, and Hofer gets bumped there by Frederick Storm as the 2 nines come shoulder to shoulder. Puck gets out to center ice, and Marcus Lauritsen will slam it right back in. Tommaso Traversa plays it out to center ice no further. And Denmark right back in. Nicholas Hart leaves it for Jakobsen, going for Frederick Storm, and now Frederick Storm will head to the bench on the line change for Denmark. 8.5 left to go here in period 2. It's scoreless. Marcus Gander backhand shot stopped by Sebastian Dahm. Bernard played it back to the line, but it comes out to center ice. Now gets sent in and taken by Jesper Jensen. Backhanded out to center ice and in for Frederick Storm, or rather for Morton Green. He'll jam it in behind the net. Mads Christensen after it, puts on the brakes, has Green in front of the net. Sharp angle chance. Green took a whack at it and fired it back to the far side wide. Through center ice for Michel Marchetti. Takes a bump from Jesper Jensen, kept on going. Now it's cleared up the boards. Jensen is after it, but it's kept in at the line by Zanatta. Goy goes after it, gets it for Costner. Costner tried to get it to the front of the net, and that failed. Long floater up the middle. Off of Morten Madsen. And Thomas Larkin on it for Italy, and Larkin straight up the ice. Plays it for Diego Costner. Diego Costner gets tied up. Simon Costner trying to get a stick on it. And Jakobsen will take it dangerously in front of his own net. Quickly sends it near side and up through center for Matthias Lassen. He'll get it for Morten Paulson. And back for Jakobsen. Lead pass, Hart for Jakobsen, for Lauritsen, and the shot save made. And Bernard's going to hang on to it.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the current game in Paris. It's the game Canada versus Norway. And as you see live footage on the screen, the score in the second period is Canada 2, Norway 0. Und wir schauen mal auf den Videoclub für das Live-Bild aus Paris. Paris natürlich. Und da spielt Kanada gegen Norwegen aktuell dazwischen. zweiten Drittel 2:0 für Kanada.
Game still scoreless. Morton Green back out, the veteran of this Denmark team, the captain. I talked to Danish people about him. Words like, he's all about our hockey culture, our backbone, not only for the teams, but for the hockey program in Denmark. Christensen, cross ice, Lauritsen, the shot stopped, rebound, and another shot that never got through. Oliver Lauritsen. Mads Christensen, the shot, that went wide. Morton Green is after it. Green spins it to the front of the net, looking for Morten Poulsen. Poulsen took a couple of whacks at that bouncing puck. Mads Christensen trying to find a little space along the boards. Kept in at the line by Matthias Lassen, and that shot went wide. In some, after it now for Italy. Lead pass, Scandella tips it in. And Marcus Lauritsen winds it up out of his own zone. Plays it through the middle of the ice for Nikolai Ehlers. Back for Morten Madsen, looking for Ehlers. Ehlers off the backboards. This ends up at the line. Marcus Lauritsen tees it up and ripped it wide. And he can rip it. Tommaso Traversa will chip this back into the Denmark zone, and Lauritsen goes back for it. For Peter Regan. Regan rink wide, looking for Morten Madsen. Stefano Marchetti breaks that up. And back in for Gander, who blows a tire and goes down. Peter Regan all the way back in behind his own net. Marcus Lauritsen slows the pace down. Sends this ahead for Peter Regan. Regan trying to work it in deep, does. Goes to the backboards, gets tied up. Morten Madsen kicked it for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers spins it around the boards for Jesper Jensen. Tied up there by Marcus Gander. And Gander will get it out to center ice. Jesper Jensen back into his own end. Brugesser through for Frederick Storm. Storm tried to dance Lucas Zanata and couldn't do it. Storm on the backtrack knocked it for Nicholas Hart. He'll play it back into his own zone. Brugesser gets it for Jakobsen. Long wrister wide. Nicholas Hart waits for it, gets it back for Brugesser. Left point Jesper Jensen, down low for for Madsen. He tried to center it out front, and that got cleared out at center ice. Costner, Diego Costner tried to get that for Simon Costner, couldn't. Mads Christensen back in. Player change now, Brugesser to the bench, and Matthias Lassen back into his own zone. In for Morten Poulsen. He'll drop it for Mads Christensen. Christensen looking out front. Poulsen fires, save made. That would have got through the netminder. Morton Green was there to tap it in.
Well, Peter Regan's had his chances. He showed some frustration. Inability for them to get on the board. Some on the bench. This was after the last power play that Denmark had. Great feed here as he chipped it wide. Trying to get his team going.
At the line, this is kept in for Nikolai Ehlers. Trying to work it free from Andergassen. Shot by Morten Madsen. That never got to the net. On it, Scandella puts it into an open corner. Ehlers first on it, and a shot by Morten Madsen. That got blocked.
It's exactly what Italy wants to do. They want to try and frustrate the opponent, keep it close as long as they can. As their head coach before the game said it, the longer they keep it close, the more he thinks it plays in their favor.
Hoping maybe some of the fatigue on Denmark will play a part in this game. Denmark had the late game last night. I'm not sure this game has been physical enough for it to be really a fatiguing type game for Denmark.
Well, a lot of the fatigue comes when you try to wear a team down in their own end, and Italy just hasn't been in the Denmark zone enough.
21-9 the shots in favor of Denmark as the second period of a scoreless game winds down here in Cologne, Germany. Dennis Bayak along with Shane Knighty. Scandella trying to play it to the front of the net, chopped away. And up to center ice is Nikolai Ehlers, and he'll just send this in. Played ahead by Egger. Traversa couldn't handle that pass. And back in for Jakobsen, he'll drop it. Sent in by Frederick Storm, and Storm goes in. Storm, Egger's first on the puck though, and Egger will play it up on the right side. Diego Kostner looking for Scandella, and Denmark will control. Finally shovel ahead out at center ice for Nicholas Hart. Hart got stripped of the puck by Marini. Marini trying to come in, and a good defensive play by Emil Christensen.
Good solid hit. Christensen plays the body when Marini tried to cut back.
Mads Christensen in after the puck. One Christensen with a C, the other with a K. The defenseman with the K had the good hit. Larkin. Zanata. And Zanata plays this to the Danish line for Insam, and he'll send it the rest of the way in. Marco Scandella, a knuckler from the line, high and wide. Hofer holds it in. Scandella with another shot, and that got turned aside by Sebastian Dahm. And Jesper Jensen will get it for Nicholas Jensen. Dying seconds of period number 2, as this game is still looking for its opening goal. Mads Christensen cross ice for Peter Regan, fanned on a bouncing puck, and that'll do it. Second period will come to an end. No score between Denmark and Italy.
No goals after the second period between Denmark and Italy. Auch nach dem zweiten Drittel noch keine Tore, Spielstand 0:0 zwischen Dänemark und Italien. Schauen wir auf die Schussstatistik des zweiten Drittels. Dänemark 12, Italien 6. Schusstor the second period between Denmark 12, gegen Italy 6. Start of the second period. Das war die letzte Spiel. No goals so far between Denmark and Italy, but now we're going to see some goals on the screen because now you can watch the top 3 goals of yesterday's games. Noch keine Tore zwischen Dänemark und Italien, aber jetzt auf dem Videowürfel gibt es Tore zu bestaunen, und zwar die 3 schönsten von gestern. Hier sind die Top 3 Goals.
Game still looking for its first goal for the two teams. It is the final game of this 2017 World Hockey Championship. And for Morton Green, his final game of world competition.
And for Italy, it's right where they wanted. 0-0 game here heading into this third period of play.
Thomas Larkin back into his own end. Through the middle, deflected in by Marco Insam. Marcus Lauritsen puts it back against the traffic for Christensen. Christensen lead pass for Frederick Storm. Storm trying to bust his way in. Played it to the front of the net, and Jakobsen got a whack at it, but not enough to put it on net. Shot from the line, that went wide. And as it comes off the side boards, Insam will play this ahead and send in by Andergassen. Denmark back to regroup with Emil Christensen. 14 shots on goal coming into this game for Emil Christensen, second on the team. Nikolai Ehlers shares the lead with Frederick Storm at 15 each.
Well, Ehlers had 4 shots in this period, and a lot of chances. Real good one in the first, another in the second, but Denmark has not been able to get it past Bernard, who's been good in net for Italy.
Peter Regan wins the face-off. Nikolai Ehlers takes the pass from Jesper Jensen, rink wide, too far for Morten Madsen. And Andreas Bernard will shut that down. We'll have a face-off in the Italy end of the ice. Jan Carlson looks on.
Oh, looking for his team to get a little spark. Yes, quick turnaround played last night, then get at it early here today. But the last game of the tournament looking maybe here in the final 20 to get some more jump from his team.
In the big picture, it wouldn't make a big difference, but in the short term, I'm sure that for Morton Green, a win today would make it a little bit sweeter.
Peter Regan got tangled up, went down awkward and slow to head to the Denmark bench.
So we'll see if he may not be done for the game. Played up on that right side for Jesper Jensen. Back for Niklas Jensen. And Jesper Jensen, who plays more minutes than anyone on that Denmark team, he'll start the attack. Morton Green stopped at center ice by Marcus Gander. And flip back in, and Denmark will try it all over again. Niklas Jensen's going to wheel through center, get to the center ice area, tried to get it deep, didn't. And he's going to have to go back to where he started. Matthias Lassen back in behind his own net. And Tommaso Goy just parked in the high slot there is that defensive structure that we have seen from Italy for most of this tournament. Lucas Anata, big bow goes in after him and knocks it free. Russell gets it back for Bow. Ogard in there as well, but Italy will start up with Costner. Played in, Marchetti got jammed out there. And back up the ice for Patrick Russell. Forced to the outside, puts it to the front of the net, save made by Bernard.
Bernard didn't look too sure, just a sharp angle backhand from Russell. And Denmark maybe going to try and put everything they can here towards the Italian net.
Andergassen leaves for Insam. Turned over at center ice, Frederick Storm chips it back in, and Armin Hofer will chip it right back out. Cross ice pass, this gets picked off by Insam. He can shoot it, and he fires that one off with Marcus Lordson and wide. Insam on it again for Scandella, and that shot got blocked. And injured on the play was Nicholas Hart. Frederick Storm carries it wide. Storm puts on the brakes. Tied up in the corner. Puck is back to the blue line. Brugesser for Jesper Jensen. Trying to get away from Giovanni Scandella, or Giulio Scandella. Back to the line. Slap shot Ehlers. And Bernard got a piece of it. And back up the ice for Scandella. To center ice trying to find Simon Costner. That got stopped. Following up on the play, though, is Marchetti, Stefano Marchetti. Gets it for Costner. Back to the line for Egger. Egger plays it down low, and it ends up onto the stick of Jakobsen. And on for Jesper Jensen. Gets it for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers trying to find some room to fired into high gear. And a good play defensively there by Marcus Gander, as he slowed Ehlers down enough.
Italy barely forces from the red line to center in. Watches the neutral zone, one guy up, and then just going to back right off and try and cut everything off between the red line and their blue line.
Lucas Anata back for it. Turned over at the line. Slap shot by Oliver Lauritsen, way wide. Taken and sent down low by Mats Christensen. After it, Morten Poulsen. Lauritsen goes cross ice for Lassen. Lassen with Tommaso Traversa in after him, gets it for Christensen, in for Morton Green. Morton Green trying to work it out front, could not. And back out at center and flipped in deep by Gander. Here comes Ogard. He got stopped at center ice. Patrick Russell will slide it in. Marini slides it right back out again. Lombacher leaves it at the line and it's sent in deep. Back for Bow, for Ogard. Ogard pumps this in. Bow goes in after it. Gets some help from Ogard, and then it's stolen and cleared by Lombacher. Bow back in through center ice. Got inside the line, that's as far as he could get. And this goes off the stick of Lombacher and out of play. Scoreless here in the third.
Congratulations have been to Mr. Alexander Knut for the Scholar Player of the Game.
.37 left in the third, and neither team has been able to find the back of the net. Jesper Jensen back for it. Jakobsen on for Nicholas Hart. He's back out after blocking a shot and now has his shot blocked. Centered, Hart goes on after it, kept in at the line, and Nicholas Jensen's shot never got through and taken by Marco Insam. He'll send it all the way back into his own zone, and Thomas Larkin will wind it up to center, snaps it in. Jakobsen and Insam tie each other up. Trying to get it back to the line with Scandella. Scandella then steals at center. And late coming out of the zone, according to the linesman, was Insam.
Well, Insam just didn't hustle as it was a quick turnover, and Scandella trying to come back on transition. Look at Julio Scandella. Mentioned brother of Marco Scandella that plays for the Minnesota Wild. Italy just continues to slow this game down, try and slow Denmark up.
Oliver Lauritsen eluded a check. Gets this out at center ice, and now back in for Diego Kostner. Kostner will play it behind the net. Lauritsen breaks it up. And Nikolai Ehlers will try and find a little bit of room. Sends it out at center. In across the line for Peter Regan. Regan plays it back. Lassen from the line lets the shot go, and that's off a leg. Back at the line, kept in, and a blast by Lauritsen off a stick and way over top the net. Lauritsen holds it in. Tried to send it down low. It got blocked and back up the ice for Marini. Marini puts on the brakes. Italy interchange. Marini looking for some help. Played back into the high slot. Good job by Insam to hold that in. And the cross-ice return feed from Insam from Marini never did get to him. That's Christensen across the line. In for Morten Poulsen. Poulsen will play it back for Mads Christensen. At the line, Emil Christensen. Around for Marcus Lauritsen. Back for Green, the shot, the rebound! And Morten Poulsen just chopped that off the right pad of the netminder Bernard. Slap shot, and that's off the side of the net.
Had the fans behind the net on their feet, but it did hit the outside of the netting.
Icing waved off. Marcus Lauritsen goes back for it. Teams are changing. In for Matthias Bau. Bau trying to find Russell. Loose puck in front. Russell had a couple of whacks at it. And Andreas Bernard holds his ground. Bau back to the front of the net, and he got tripped up. Dumped in by Anton Bernard. Sebastian Dahm will leave this in behind his own net. And Jesper Jensen. Ahead for Ogard. On for Bau. Looking back for Ogard. Pass was intercepted by Larkin. For Lombacher, he couldn't get anywhere. Marchetti back for Lombacher. Took a bump but gets it inside the Denmark zone. Marchetti after it. Squeezed out there by Brugisser and knocked down. Larkin, the slap shot. Loose puck in front. Sebastian Dahm had it, lost it. Gets it back. They keep banging away at it. And finally, the whistle does go.
Stefan Mayer can't believe it. The best chance of the game. And Marchetti off a rebound. It's a point shot. Goes right in front. And Dahm thought he had this. This is one of the slower whistles you'll see. There's the chance for Marchetti as he's going to get this loose puck. And Dahm reacts and just gets that left arm squeezed up against the side. At the other side, it was Bernard with the save and Poulsen with the chance in front as Bernard had the right pad out to make that puck save.
Scandella off the face-off. The shot never got to the net. Oliver Lauritsen ahead for Frederick Storm. Storm coming rink wide. Nicholas Hart ends up with the puck. Hart with the wrist shot wide. Off the backboards, almost a rebound to the front for Frederick Storm. Back at the line, the shot by Matthias Lassen goes wide. Lauritsen takes it at the line. And this deflects up and out of play.
Lauritsen just trying to get it through. He's had a few now that just won't make their way to the net. Had one block last shift. Played big minutes. He led the team after the first period of ice time for the big 6'6", 238-pound defenseman. Take a look at Morten Madsen. His top line for Denmark with Ehlers and Regan comes onto the ice. See if they can get them on the board.
Shots were 10-4 in the first. Shots were 10-4 in the second. In both cases favoring Denmark. Nikolai Ehlers with the shot. That's off a stick. Marini, Egger, but Ehlers is first on the puck. Morten Madsen down for Peter Regan. Back for Madsen, in for Ehlers. Ehlers the shot, and that's off a leg. And that's up and out of play.
Definitely a shoot-first mentality here as Ehlers can't believe he didn't get that shot through. Good play after a battle in the corner, the puck to the slot. Danish fans and some kids here today to watch this early game. Won't be any empty seats for the next one.
Nope, Russia, Latvia is the next one, and then a triple header here in this building tomorrow, including a couple of big ones. Chances in front of the net. Couple of whacks there by Morten Madsen and Andreas Bernard. holds his ground on the short side.
Madsen a great chance in front as Ehlers just sends it to the net, and if Madsen would have had his head up, he could have slid it over to Regan for a tap in, but just jamming away at that puck.
Couple of chances for big Morten Madsen. Face off, another win and another shot and another save, as that one came off the stick of Mads Christensen. And across for Jesper Jensen. On for Morten Green, and he'll deflect it in. Thomas Larkin up for Marcus Gander. And Gander will start back. Anton Bernard back for Gander. Side of the net gets jammed up, and Jesper Jensen is on it. Plays it back into his own zone. Teams complete their change. Russell in for Ogard. He'll leave for Bow. Bow the shot, and that's off the arm of Andreas Bernard. Just one power play each in this game. Back at the line, the shot right on, rebound! And that got tucked wide by Ogard. Bow was after it, back for Ogard, got away from him. Lauritsen down low for Bow. Bow back for Lassen. Lassen trying to walk his way to the net, could not. And around for Scandella. Andergassen. And he lost control of it in behind the net. Played back from Matthias Bow. He's looking for a line change. He'll just leave it there. And Jakobsen will scamper right after a loose puck. Hager chipped it back for Stefano Marchetti. And around for Simon Kostner. And out to center ice, no further. And Denmark right back in on the attack with Christensen, or rather with Lauritsen, the cross-ice pass. And Marchetti breaks it up on his way to the bench. Larkin out at center. Plays it back in Kostner. Looking for Diego Kostner. He got spun around and knocked down. And Denmark will take over control of the puck. Peter Regan. He'll drop it for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers dances his way in, and a glove save made by Andreas Bernard, and he will hang on to it.
Let's have a quick look at the game in Canada and Paris. Sorry, it's Canada versus Norway, and it's the third period in Paris. As you see live footage on the screen, and the current score is Canada 4, Norway 0. Wir schauen nochmal auf den Geo-block und sehen Live-Bilder aus Paris. Die Partie Kanada gegen Norwegen. Aktueller Zwischenstand. Anfang des dritten Drittels in Paris 4:0 für Kanada.
.55 left in the third period of a scoreless game. Nikolai Ehlers lost some footing in behind the net. He went down, and Traversa for Italy will just play this back. And Denmark back to regroup. Peter Regan all the way back in behind his own net. Drops it off for Niklas Jensen. He'll play it for Jesper Jensen. to the line. Lets the wrist shot go. That's off the stick and then off the glass. Kept in, nope. This gets jammed out to center ice by Anton Bernard. Peter Regan slowed up at center. Madsen follows up. Mads Christensen now. Mads Christensen in for Peter Regan. The shot, the rebound. Just beyond the reach of Morten Poulsen. Shot from the line by Matthias Lassen off a leg. And Zanata ahead for Anton Bernard, and he'll just shovel it down the ice. And this will be an icing call against Italy.
Well, Bernard has been fantastic in net for Italy. He has kept this a scoreless game. Badly outshot as his team, and he has been solid in net. Some plays, some scrambles where he's really been good along the ice off those rebounds. Ogard had a great chance. This last one, Poulsen just couldn't get a handle off that rebound from the Regan shot.
Russia and Latvia, the game tonight. Russia looking to jump back in the top spot in this pool. Right now trailing USA by 1 point. Russia has played one less game than what the USA has played. In that triple header tomorrow, we have first place and fourth place on the line. Morten Poulsen through center ice. Poulsen with 5 Italian players all the way back inside their own line waiting for him. Mads Christensen squeezed out, stays on the puck. Cross ice pass, quick shot by Ogard, stopped, and that will be held. Nicholas Hart with that chance.
Yeah, comes in off the bench. A nice feed from Emil Christensen and a quick shot. And Bernard again the save, and good job in front. Insam's gonna box out. Denmark can't get a chance at this rebound, takes the stick of Mads Christensen and allows his netminder to cover up that loose puck.
Stefano Marchetti snaps this off the boards, and that's up and out of play. We'll have another face-off back in the Italian zone.
Well, Italy's just sitting right back, and they're just going to continue to chip pucks out here and try and hang on. The thing is, they need the 3 points. They need to win this in regulation, which would put them in a tie with Denmark and Slovakia points-wise.
I'm not sure they're aware of that. The way the coach talked before the game, it was almost like it was back to the drawing board for them, but they are aware of the standings. Denmark gets a point out of this. Then that scenario's out the window. And then guaranteed that Italy will be relegated. To avoid relegation, they have to win this in regulation. Morten Madsen leaves it there for Nikolai Ehlers. Tried to play it back to the line. Sebastian Dahm will come out and play it for Jesper Jensen. Peter Regan shot. Ehlers with a little bit of a tip. After it is Morten Madsen. Madsen out of the corner for Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers trying to get it back to the blue line does. Emil Christensen back for Morten Madsen. He had a man on him, and we have a penalty coming up. It is a high sticking penalty going to Italy.
Thomas Larkin gets the stick up, I believe, on Nikolai Ehlers.
Team Italy, 2 minutes, high sticking.
And it's a bit of a cross check. I'm not sure if it was a high stick. It let some other ones go by the wayside, but now late with just 2:49 left, Italy will go short-handed.
So Denmark, power play that struggled for them last night. It's a chance to go to work.
Team Italy, number 27, Thomas Larkin,
Marcus Lorentsen back for Emil Christensen.
Es gibt eine Strafe gegen das Team Italien mit der
Far side for Jakobsen.
Zwei Strafen wegen hohen Stocks. Seit 57.
Down to the goal line for Nicholas Hart. Lordson doesn't shoot it. Jakobsen, cross ice, shot, score! Nicholas Hart may have been the last Denmark player to tip it.
Another late heartbreak for Italy. This has been the story of the tournament. They've been close and a lot. We'll see if they can come back with Nicholas Hart off to the side of the net as they're going to set up the high tip to Storm, and Storm's going to get a piece of it, but goes right to Hart, who's all alone, off to the side of the net. And he's going to just fire this in as Bernard, no chance for the netminder. A bang-bang play, and it is 1-0 Denmark.
So Nicholas Hart gets his team leading third of the tournament. His second power play goal of this championship. And will that be enough to earn Denmark the victory? We'll see what happens in the final 2:24.
Goal for Team Denmark.
So we expect some desperation to Italy's game now.
Niklas Hahn, assisted by number 9, Fredrik Storm.
Fredrik Storm.
33, Julian Jakobsen. Time 57 minutes.
Julius Jakobsen get the assists on that power play marker, so Denmark 1 for 2 with the man advantage. 6 attackers now for Italy, as Andreas Bernard has gone to the bench. Scandella off that left side, tees it up and fires, in a save made by Sebastian Dahm.
2 minutes left in the third period.
Keller knocks it back to the line. Larkin through traffic, that one went wide. Lucas Zanata can't get there in time to hold it in. And now Italy will have to clear the zone. They do. And dumped in by Thomas Larkin, and Sebastian Dahm is going to hang on to it.
Oh, I guess you're going to see a timeout here. Here's the penalty. Larkin just a little high hit on Nikolai Ehlers behind the net, and it results in a power play goal for Denmark as Nicholas Hart, the recipient of a puck to the side of the net, and he got all of it as he put it home for his third of the tournament. Now Stefan Mera, head coach for Italy, will call a timeout here and see if his team, who has struggled to find offense, they can get the right play here to execute with the extra attacker. And Jan Carlson will make sure everyone aware of their defensive responsibilities here.
8th World Championship for the 28-year-old Nicholas Hart, who plays in Malmo. And there's Andreas Bernard, who has been so good in this tournament. Face off to the left of Sebastian Dahm. Andergassen digs in. And now Jakobsen digs in for Denmark. Lordson off the boards. Gets his back into the Italian end, and Egger's back for it. Egger will dish it off. Sam tried to go across ice. That got stopped. Morten Madsen in on the forward check. It goes off of Alexander Egger and into the net. Wow, you've talked about the disappointment for Italy in this tournament. What a bad, difficult, unfortunate way for this to come to an end.
I can see the frustration. Peter Regan's going to get this goal. Is he just going to fire it back? Italy's going to try send this. It's just a simple play. And Egger falls as he receives that pass and puts it right into his own net. The veteran of this Italian team at 37 years old. Not the way Alexander Egger wanted to end it. Frustration as Larkin, just a D-to-D pass. And you know what? And I'm not going to put a lot of blame. It looks bad. The ice conditions here have been not good with all the games that have been played.
Correct.
Looks like he just caught a rut, went down.
Lots of games in this building. Teams have been having morning skates here. as well.
Tor für Team Dänemark.
It's gotten a lot warmer outside over the past few days. There's been some humidity.
47.
Scramble in front of the net. Sebastian Daum is down and makes the save. We'll be putting a phone call in to Dan Craig, the NHL ace guru.
Like just that amount of action on the ice, there's not much you can do.
There's the shot by Armin Hofer. That got stopped. Green will play this out at center ice. In across the line for Morten Poulsen. And Morten Green's international hockey that started back in 1997 with the U18s, the European U18s. That was his first international competition, and it comes to an end with a 2-0 victory. 19 World Championships for Morten Green.
Been quite the career, and I'm sure this team will celebrate with him as it ends here with a victory as they pull it off late, a goal by Hart, and then an empty netter for Peter Regan.
Second game here, Russia and Latvia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the players in the game of each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2017 IIHF Hockey World Championship. Meine Damen und Herren, liebe Eishockey-Fans, die besten Spieler des Spiels beider Mannschaften werden nun ausgezeichnet mit der offiziellen Uhr von Tissot, dem offiziellen Zeitnehmer der IIHF Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft 2017. The prizes will be presented by, die Preise werden übergeben von Anders Frederik Giesing, Dansk Metall. The best player of Team Italy, der beste Spieler des Teams Italien. Number 26, die 26, Armin Helfer. And the best player of Team Denmark, der beste Spieler des Teams Dänemark. Number 13, die 13, Morten Green. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the award of the 3 best players of each team of the tournament will be presented by official sponsor of the 2017 IIHF Hockey World Championship. Meine Damen und Herren, und nun werden die Preise für die 3 besten Spieler einer Mannschaft bei diesem Turnier vergeben. Diese Preise werden präsentiert von Krušovice, offiziellem Sponsor dieser Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft. The 3 best players are selected by each team and will be presented by. Die 3 besten Spieler wurden von den Mannschaften selbst ausgewählt und die Preise werden übergeben von Ernest Aljancic, IIHF Life Member. The 3 best players of Team Italy are number 1, mit der 1, Andreas Bernhard, number 27, die 27, Thomas Magin, and number 16, die 16, Giovanni Morini. The 3 best players of Team Denmark are, die 3 besten Spieler des Teams Dänemark sind Number 33, die 33, Julian Jakobsen, Number 41, die 41, Jesper Jensen, and Number 24, die 24, Nikolai Giers. Dänemark. Meine Damen und Herren, bitte heben Sie sich nun für die dänische Nationalhymne. Once again, give a big hand for both teams, for Team Italy and for Team Denmark. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017 IIHF World Championship will continue tonight in the Access Arena at 8:15 p.m. with the game Team Russia versus Team Latvia. Meine Damen und Herren, die Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft geht heute Abend in der Access Arena weiter mit dem Spiel Russland gegen Lettland. Erstes Goalie, 20:15 Uhr.
Morten, how was the final game in the Denmark jersey?
It was a long one. I mean, I had to just take it shift by shift. I mean, it's been a long ride for me, but now the other guy's going to have to take over. But it was really nice to finish off with a win for sure.
What will you remember about your career in the red and white?
Oh my God, so many memories, so many very good friendships I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And I'm really proud and I'm really happy to be in red and white for so long.
What do you have to say to all of your fans and supporters?
Well, that was a surprise. I mean, it's really nice to see that they acknowledge me like that. I mean, it's a lot of warm inside right now, and it's really hard to find the words right now.
Well, congratulations on one heck of a career.
Yeah, thank you. See you around.
Meine Damen und Herren, liebe Eishockey-Fans, die besten Spieler des Spiels weiter. The best players in the game of each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2017 IIHF Eishockey World Championship. Meine Damen und Herren,
introducing the 2017 IIHF player statistics, team statistics, line updates, and introducing hockey cards. Your face, your team, your card. Sharing with hockey fans across the world. Any smart device, in your own language, the 2017 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Simply clever. Jetzt gibt's Angebote bei HRS sicher.
Der Stand nach dem dritten Drittel zwischen Dänemark und Italien 2:0 für Dänemark. Next performance was the game of each team awarded with the official